When I arrived at the Osa Peninsula, I tasked myself with the goal of finding and spotting the 4 types of monkey in Costa Rica in under 2 hours. The Osa Peninsula is a biodiversity hotspot because it sits at the point where North and South America connected about 3 million years ago, creating an intersection where species from both continents mixed. So, how did this biotic interchange create biodiversity? Imagine 2 very different groups of monkeys, each coming from the opposite sides of the world, suddenly sharing the same forest. Living side by side meant competition. They had to fight for food and carve out their own space in the crowded canopy. Some monkeys began to change to reduce this pressure, like eating different kinds of fruits and moving to less populated areas of the forest. These shifts in diet and environment altered other traits as well. The shape of their teeth, the length of their limbs, the color of their fur, and even the size of their nostrils. Over many generations, these changes accumulate, and entirely new species of monkeys emerge. This long history of interchange is why the Osa Peninsula holds such a diverse and dense concentration of species today. And that richness revealed itself quickly. 35 minutes into my search, I spotted a howler monkey. This one was alone, something that rarely happens, since staying in groups provides monkeys with more eyes and ears to watch for predators. Howler monkeys consume large amounts of leaves, preferring younger ones because they are more nutritious and easier to digest. They use their tails like safety ropes, wrapping them around branches for stability with every move. Each careful step is matched by a shift in the tail, ensuring they never fall off the tree. They are also clever movers, using bendable trees as natural swings to travel across the canopy without wasting energy climbing. When found in groups, howler monkeys are very orderly. They groom each other and rest peacefully together. When it's time to leave, they descend in a neat single-file line, always waiting for their turn to leave the tree their group was resting on. "50 minutes in, I heard the chime-like squeaking of squirrel monkeys. Brown and yellow, with mask-like facial pattern and oversized pointy ears, they look like mischievous little elves. Their long tails help them balance, and their short thighs make them powerful jumpers, allowing them to dart through the trees with great speed. At 75 minutes, I noticed a clump of leaves shaking violently. When the figure moved into the sparser parts of the canopy, I recognized it as a spider monkey. Lean and light, spider monkeys balance effortlessly on thin branches. They leap impressive distances, sometimes using the momentum of a bending tree to catapult themselves across gaps. Their long tails, often longer than their limbs, serve as a fifth hand, capable of holding their entire body weight. I watched a mother spider monkey use her tail and limbs to form a living bridge so her child could cross safely. "A 110 minutes in, I spotted a pale, ghost-like face in the foliage. It's the white-faced Capuchin monkey. Capuchins have strong limbs and thick tails that allow them to leap long distances and grip vertical trunks with ease. These monkeys are curious creatures with food. constantly scanning the trees for possible foods, trying everything, and learning through trial and error which food items are desirable or edible for them. As my 2-hour countdown came to an end, I realized that spotting all 4 monkey species wasn't just a personal challenge. It was a window into millions of years of evolution. Each monkey moved with its own rhythm and strategies, behaved with its own personality, looked strikingly different, and represented its own story written through decades of competition and adaptation. As lively and curious as the monkeys are, the Osa Peninsula is also home to a spectacular array of birds, each adding its own vibrant colors and songs to this rich rainforest tapestry. The Osa Peninsula especially has a diverse population of birds because its surrounded waters provide numerous sources of food, including species of fish, insects concentrated near water, and shoreline plants. This geographic characteristic also makes the Osa Peninsula a landing location to rest, refuel, and shelter for migratory birds that have traveled long distances. In the bird world, very few species mate for life. Many change partners each year or have multiple mates. Macaws, however, form strong life-lasting bonds with their partner. These pairs of macaws feed together and interact peacefully while doing so, showing respect to their partner by taking turns to eat and waiting patiently for their turn. When a pair of macaw are perched on the branch, if a lone macaw comes and lands on the same branch, it will be chased away by the couple. They are able to act together, defending their feeding site and favorite perch as a unit rather than as individuals. When one macaw lifts off for another branch, the other never stays behind. They move as a pair, following each other's movement closely so they never fall apart in the busy forest. What looks like a kiss is really a moment of gentle nibbling and grooming that expresses their trust and affection for each other. Macaws are highly social birds that stay and travel together in noisy flocks of 10 to 30, often flying in pairs within these larger groups. They stay together for feeding and roosting to defend each other from predators. While macaws demonstrate long-term bonds and cooperation, they represent only one behavioral strategy among the birds of the Osa Peninsula. Other species rely on adaptability, camouflage, or solitary foraging to survive in the same environment. This fiery-billed araucaria is eating a nut, tossing it around in its bill. Its large, vibrant bill is light in weight due to a thin-walled, foam-like construction. This allows for it to maneuver with ease within the branches and foliage. The size of the beak is designed so it is able to pluck fruits and nuts from thin branches that cannot support the bird's full weight and to reach into deep tree cavities for eggs or small animals. This yellow-throated toucan is searching for food amongst the trees. Despite its bright colorings, this bird is surprisingly well camouflaged in the rainforest. Its jet-black bodies blend into the shadows of the leaves, while its yellow throat and face mimics the leaves that reflects off the sunlight. The northern crested caracara is built to be a highly adaptable and opportunistic feeder, meaning it eats whatever is easiest to find rather than specializing in one specific diet. Unlike other raptors adapted to catching prey in flight, its long legs allows it to walk and run and forage for insects, reptiles, and amphibians in open grasslands. Its massive hooked bill is designed to tear through the flesh of dead animals for them to feed. Some individuals, however, are still learning how to survive. This is a green heron. Its fluffy plumage and dull colorings revealed that it was still a juvenile, recently out on its own. It seemed uncertain of what to do, as young birds are pushed out of the nest as soon as they learn to fly. Each time another bird passed by, it snapped its head up with alertness. It peered down at the water several times, as if considering a hunt, though it didn't yet seem to know how to strike. Eventually, exhausted from its attempts, the little heron settled down on the branch to rest, still figuring out what being independent means. Observing birds in the Osa Peninsula makes it clear that their behaviors and survivals are inseparable from the rainforest. Lifelong pair bonds, feeding sites, safe nesting branches, and abundant food sources all depend on intact rainforest ecosystems. When forests are protected, these relationships and life cycles can continue. When forests are damaged, they are disrupted or lost.